Follow the money.
That's what I always say. You always follow the money.
Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Pauly Howard on VSiN.
All right, Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Welcome into Follow the Money. The show's presented by DraftKings, Pauly Howard, Matt Youmans. It's Mitch and JVT tomorrow. It's a great sports day. 3 NFL games with the biggest NFL game of the year on Monday Night Football. 5 NBA games with a great card. And we'll go live to Kansas City to talk to Sorin Petro coming up with the Chiefs and Raiders in about an hour. And Doug Kazarian still coming up as well. Week 17 lines straight ahead also. Okay, if the Chiefs win, they wrap up the division. It'd be the 8th year in a row. If the Chiefs win out, they go over their win total for the 10th time in the last 11 years. The Chiefs can still get the 1 seed. They beat the Raiders 6 in a row. They beat them out here in late November 31-17. Tony's out. Smith is out. McKinnon's out. Hardman's out. And the questions continue to be asked about the offense and what's the problem with the wide receivers. I know you can't dismiss Mahomes and what they've done, and the kid's hosted the game every year of his career. Mm-hmm. But it's hard to get there with Kansas City with what they've done and how they've looked all year on offense. Great defense, but they haven't been able to figure this out, and there's only a couple games left. They're laying 10.5 tonight against this afternoon against the Raiders.
Well, it's not that hard for me to get there with the Chiefs because of Mahomes and that defense. The wide receiver situation we know has been a problem for a long time. And you said Tony is out. That could be a positive for Kansas City today. I really don't know why they're sticking with Kadarius Toney, but Rashee Rice, I think, has emerged. And as long as you got Travis Kelce out there roaming the middle of the field, you got a major weapon as well. And I actually think we talked about the Ravens in the first hour being the favorite to win the AFC. That's obvious. But you put Mahomes with his playoff experience and the big games he's won, Paul, up against Lamar Jackson in the playoffs. Are you going to tell me you're overconfident in the Ravens winning that game? No way. Right? Mahomes against Jackson in a playoff game?
Yep.
I think the Chiefs are live. Don't write them off too soon. To me, it's still the big three in the AFC. Mahomes, Josh Allen, and Lamar Jackson. Let's put it that way. That's going to be the big three this year.
Now look at this with the updated playoff picture. This is madness. And again, we could have the Bills take on the Chiefs in the first round. I don't think that's going to happen because I think the Chiefs are going to win out. And Miami still plays Baltimore, and Baltimore has their hands full tonight. You have to love the Browns going into whoever wins the AFC South too, the way they're playing. Mm-hmm. And then who's going to get that 7 spot? Colts play the Texans final game of the year. Cincinnati has to go to Kansas City next week. Pittsburgh goes to Seattle, and they go to Baltimore, so it doesn't look good. Oh. Whoever wins that Colt-Texans game is probably going to get the final spot. But this is just wide open in the AFC playoff picture. The Raiders are 1-5 on the road. Jacobs is questionable, expected to play. Doesn't look like Mayer's going to play. They are 29th in offense. They're last in rushing. O'Connell's been a mixed bag. Now, what do you do with this? You had a nice handicap about buy on bad news, and of course the Chargers were going to show up and Staley gets fired, and they were going to represent themselves well on national TV. Well, now on the flip side, the Raiders are coming off the 60-point performance, and everything went right. So what do I get out of the Raiders here, that they've been a major disappointment offensively, even though they have so many weapons?
Yeah, one thing about the Raiders secondary can be exploited, but we just talked about it. The Chiefs don't have those wide receivers who are going to, I think, take advantage of the Raiders' defensive weakness. So I think they can hang in this game. Why not? When the Raiders played the Chiefs here in Vegas, Raiders got up 14-0 right off the bat. Before you know it, it has 31-14. That game turned around 31-17 final. But if Aiden O'Connell can avoid the rookie mistakes, I don't see why the Raiders can't hang within this number. They actually went to Kansas City last year and should have won the game. You remember that? Josh McDaniels mismanaged that game. Yeah. The Raiders had a big lead and blew it. And here they are going into, let's see, with Antonio Pierce as interim coach, Raiders are 3-3 straight up and 4-1-1 against the spread. They've been really competitive in every game but one, and that was against the Chiefs here in Vegas when they actually had a 14-0 lead. I think they can hang in this game. Chiefs find a way to win it. Okay. Paul, and the Chiefs are going to be 12-5 going into the playoffs. Yeah, it's not that hard for me to get there with KC.
No, yeah, laid 7.5 next week at home to Cincinnati, and then you close with the Chargers.
Right.
So it's going to be 12-5. They're also -8 in the turnover differential this year too. Kansas City. They are 13-1 to the under in the fourth quarter. They are 12-2 to the under in the second half this year.
Yep.
The gift that keeps on giving with the Chiefs. So that's the early game. The middle game. Philly and the Giants. Here at Circa, the Eagles are up to 14 against the passing Paisan. 10-4 against 5-9. Last year in the playoffs, it was ugly and was over early. 38-7, Philadelphia. The Giants are 5-9. They're 2-6 on the road. They're +6 in the turnover differential. Think about that. So here, Philly laying 14. But again, we touched on it briefly about a half an hour ago. There's issues with Philadelphia, and Hurts continues to turn it over. He's hurt. He was sick. They have a very predictable offense. They're running the same crap and same formations with Brian Johnson, which when McCaffrey can point out what they're going to run by the formation on the Manning cast, you got problems. Now, I like what they did to try to save the defense with Patricia, and they played well against Seattle until the Drew Lock touchdown drive, which you can't let a guy get behind you in that situation. But then again, it was Drew Lock. But they had to do that with Desai, and they had lost the locker room. But there's so many question marks against Philly. But then again, they're going to get the 2 seed here just because they closed with the Giants twice and Arizona at home. But come playoff time, as I said at the top of the show, Seattle could give them a game. The Rams can beat them. They're going to have a tough matchup here in that first playoff game, and we'll see if they can cover a big number here, and if the passing Paisan can turn it around after only scoring 6 points on the road against the Saints.
Here's the thing with the Eagles. I don't think the point differential category means everything because 1 or 2 games can really skew that. But the Eagles are 10-4 with a point differential of +18. The Cowboys have a Cowboys point differential +165. I think the Eagles have a lot of problems that they're not going to get figured out, and they're not going to be long for the playoffs this season. Jalen Hurts has not been right all season. More turnovers than he had all of last season.
Yep.
The knee, I think his knee issue might be a problem.
Where are the big plays of the passing attack? Where's that gone?
They haven't been there.
No.
You're right. And the defense, now you put Matt Patricia in charge. And he puts James Bradbury in man coverage against Metcalf and their top receivers. You got to give Bradbury help. You can't put him in man coverage. And what happens? Drew Lock takes advantage. He goes 92 yards against the Philadelphia defense. I think, this is a spot today where the Eagles probably going to have a get-right game. They've lost 3 in a row. They need to have a get-right game. It's probably going to happen today because the Giants just don't have it.
Don't you think DeVito's got too much going on?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he's really trying to cash in here on the 15 minutes, along with the family.
No doubt.
He's got the Rayos, the spaghetti sauce now. He had the signing autographs, $800 for his autograph. Did you see that? And then the back and forth. I'll show up to the pizza place. They offered 10. He wanted 20. He showed up anyways. Good for him.
Good for him.
He's got too many irons in the fire right now. Oh, by the way, you have to go out and try to win a game on Christmas.
2 years from now, you're going to be saying, remember that Tommy DeVito guy? Whatever happened to him?
Probably. Right? Yeah.
So that's why he's trying to take advantage of that now. Last week I thought it was a great spot to fade DeVito and the Giants, but I hate the Saints.
Right.
That was a situation where you had 2 fade teams facing off in the Giants-Saints, and the Giants still got blown out by a bad Saints team.
At DraftKings, the Christmas Day specials. Most passing yards. Mahomes +175. Purdy +275. Hurts is 5-1. Lamar's 6. O'Connell +750. Tommy DeVito is 14-1. Most receiving yards today. A.J. Brown's the favorite +330. Kelsey +550 along with Rice. Devontae Adams. Ayuk is 7-1. Samuel +850. And there's a ton of guys listed. Most rushing yards. McCaffrey is +170. Swift is 4-1. Pacheco plus 550. Big shot in the arm to give him back for Kansas City. Lamar is 7-1. Barkley and Jacobs are 9-1. Gus Edwards, 13-1. High-low. Highest scoring game, the Baltimore-San Francisco game. That's even money. Lowest scoring game, Raiders-Chiefs, plus 110. Team with the most points today, Philly plus 145. San Francisco plus 250. KC's 3-1. Baltimore 7-1. And the Giants shocked the world 17-1. Lowest points today, Giants plus 135. Raiders plus 165. Baltimore plus 450. KC 9-1. San Francisco 12. And the Eagles 20. And then you have all the props with all the games here. And everything's up there, and you'll get lost in the menu. Great job by everyone in the traders at DraftKings for the Christmas games. Not only the 3 NFL games, but the 5 NBA, which we'll get to coming up. So,
I don't know. Keep an eye on Saquon Barkley. One thing you can do right now, you can run on this Philadelphia defense, and Barkley has the potential to have a big game today.
All right, it was a good week in pocket this past weekend. I love the Week 17 card. We'll see what Matt thinks coming up next. We'll run it down rapid fire, and we'll also get to the updated playoff odds, comeback player of the year numbers, and coach of the year all straight ahead. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, VSiN, Follow the Money, the Sports Betting Network.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Juice Reel, a free betting intelligence app and a tool every bettor needs. It links your betting accounts into one app, delivers in-depth analytics on your betting history. You have access to the betting history of billions of bets placed by all Juice Reel users. In-depth betting analytics with billions of data points enables you to tail the winners and fade the losers. They also have the AI bot, who's hitting better than 60%. More than 100 games. Download Juice Reel today, the free app in the Apple App Store or Google Play Store. It's free. Juice Reel, R-E-E-L. Here we go. Week 17 numbers. Our final Thursday game. The Browns are up to 7, 36.5 against the Jets. That was a wild game with the Jets, who had a 3-touchdown lead early and then got the game-winning field goal to win. I can't go against Flacco right now. I mean, a guy's throwing for 300 yards every game. They're winning, and I don't think Simeon's going to move the ball at all against this Cleveland defense, which is the best in the league statistically at home.
Great teaser game. If you like to play teasers in the NFL, knock the Browns down to 1. I don't think about this. Remember the game? Was it 2 years ago, or was it last year? Joe Flacco and the Jets went to Cleveland.
That's right.
And had that
Chubb didn't fall down.
The 2 touchdowns in the final 2 minutes of the game, and the miracle win for the Jets.
Yep.
I think that the Browns would be the play here, but a much better play for me if you put it on a teaser, knock it down to Cleveland -1.
I'm with you. And I love the Cowboys. Saturday night at home against Detroit. Detroit wins a division for the first time since 1993. You think they're going to celebrate?
Oh, yeah.
Dallas, back-to-back losses. What is it, 15, 16 in a row at home? I think Dallas wins comfortably on Saturday night.
Cowboys 7-0 at home with an average winning margin of 24.4 points a game.
Very good. Excellent info.
Yeah, I think the Lions are going to be flat in this spot. They clinch the division, go on the road. Cowboys drop back-to-back road games. This is a spot where you got to bet Dallas.
Oh, how this line has changed. Jacksonville, with their season on the line, only 6 at home to Carolina. And the Packers' defense is so bad, they made Bryce Young look good. But Lawrence left the game again. Beathard came in, and it was ugly as Jacksonville continues to blow games here. Now, if they win out, they win the division. But 6 at home against Carolina, which is no layup now.
How about Bryce Young yesterday? Like you just said, I didn't think it was possible for him to look that competent as a passer.
Yeah.
What has happened to the Packers' defense?
Joe Barry's terrible. I mean, I know.
They've got to make a defensive coordinator change.
Yeah, right. That was bad. 49ers are 13.5 at Washington. The Jets would have made the playoffs if they traded for Jacoby Brissett. I'll tell you that. Again, he comes in relief of Howell, who was awful, and Brissett again moves the ball, and they score points. Again, a wild game where Washington's getting buried, and they come back to take the lead. The Niners are going to do whatever they want offensively in this game. 13.5 on the road. Ooh.
That's a bold statement by you. The Jets would have made the playoffs if
absolutely.
they traded for Jacoby Brissett.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. About absolutely. Might be a stretch.
No way. I did it again coming in relief. The total 48.5, by the way. Here's a game I love. No way Derek Carr is going into Tampa and winning this game. The Buccaneers are hot. The offense is cooking. The division is right there. Updated numbers we'll get to coming up. They got a stranglehold on this division. $6 now. They're laying 3 at home against the Saints. To me, that's outrageous. Tampa 3 and 41.5. There's no way I want Derek Carr on the road.
I don't like the Saints. I haven't liked the Saints all year. I haven't liked the Saints going back to the preseason. I got a friend who's really sharp,
okay,
and he was talking about some NFL futures over the summer, and he acted like he had some secret nobody else knew. He goes,
okay.
I'm going to tell you a team right now, because the previous summer we had talked about the Eagles, and that was before the Jalen Hurts and the Eagles had a breakout year.
Yeah.
He said, I'm going to give you a team, and this team can make it to, and then he ended up, after his spiel, he says, the Saints. I said, no way, not buying it, no chance.
Yep.
Don't like Derek Carr, don't like Dennis Allen as a coach.
Right.
There's way too many issues with the Saints for me to buy into that team. How about Baker Mayfield in the month of December?
Incredible.
1,010 passing yards, 10 touchdowns, 1 interception, and a 4-0 record. Might be the hottest quarterback in the league in this month.
I just don't see how they're going to slow him down if Carr's going to do anything. I mean, I would be, for the line only to be 3, I'd be stunned if the Saints win this game.
I think this number's going to tick up to 3.5.
Yeah.
But,
and I already bet it, yeah. Rams 6.5 on the road against the Giants. Here's another team you don't want to see come playoff time. Rams now minus $2 to make the playoffs. I think that's too low. Now, they got San Francisco in the final game, but that might be over, and they might sit people. I don't know how Shanahan's going to treat it.
Yeah,
but for this particular game, this offense is humming as well with the 4 solid players that they have.
Love this offense right now. You were talking about Detroit, and I think the Detroit defense, if the Rams face the Lions in the playoffs,
oh, boy. They're not getting stops.
It's going to be trouble.
Yep.
Because with Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp and the way this Rams offense,
Williams.
Matthew Stafford going back to Detroit and all the options this Rams, Kyron Williams, all the options the Rams have on offense right now, I agree with you. I think that has become a dangerous team.
Yep, another good game to tease. Bills 11.5 at home to the Patriots.
That's too many points for me to lay.
I agree.
Too many. If it's
especially they could with the turnovers too.
I think that's the right number. Let's put it that way, because if you put it at 9.5, you're going to have a lot of people laying the points with the Bills. At 11.5, that's a stay away from.
All right. Heineke did go
one
ahead.
thing I want to mention about the Patriots, why I kind of liked them last night against the Broncos. Bill Belichick's got the number 2 run defense in the NFL. And if you stop the Broncos' running attack, and I thought the Patriots did a decent job of that last night, you're going to make Russell Wilson make a bunch of plays and beat you. That's one thing that's been overlooked with the Patriots is the offense has been so inept, and it's put the defense in a lot of bad spots. But the Patriots' defense has been really good week after week after week.
Yep.
Very few breakdowns, and the number 2 run defense in the NFL.
Heineke played well in the win. They saved their season for the time being. The Bears are 3 at home against Atlanta. The Bears can still go over their win total. What would you do if in Chicago next year? Would you run it all back? Keep the coaching staff and Fields?
Yeah, I think so. Let's get Mike North on the phone. Can we get North on the phone to talk about the Bears and what they should do?
I want to talk to Mike, yeah. I think it'd be a major mistake to do that. On both, I would get rid of Fields, and I would get rid of the coaching staff.
I think they're going to keep everybody.
Oh, no. Are you serious? They're going to pass on Williams?
Bears, I'll say this about, I'm not a Matt Eberflus guy in terms of, I don't think he's a great head coach, or he's not even a really good head coach. But this Bears defense is playing at a really high level.
I know.
You've seen some dramatic improvement in the Bears defense. Justin Fields, there are flashes when you say, yeah, he could be a franchise guy. and then he does something, you say, nah, they can't stick with Fields. They gotta go with Caleb Williams. I think they're probably going to end up going with Caleb Williams and trading Justin Fields and sticking with the coaching staff.
All right. I can only look the Bears in that game. The Ravens are 3 at home against Miami, 46.5. Likely to decide the 1 seed in the AFC.
That's a cheap price on the Ravens, even though I say I don't
know.
like Baltimore at home as a home favorite. But 3 is a cheap number. The Dolphins did go to Baltimore and win last year. You remember that second half?
Down 21, yeah. Down the fourth, whatever it was, yeah. Texans, season on the line, 3.5 against the Titans. Thank God Stroud's finally back. He's supposed to be back.
Titans are cooked.
Case Keenum was terrible. Oh, he's so bad the last 2 weeks. And then Davis Mills comes in and puts up great numbers. So they're playing the wrong quarterback. Stroud's supposed to be back. We'll see what Tennessee does if it'll be Levis at quarterback. But Tennessee is just you have so many issues offensively, and they couldn't move it against Seattle.
Tennessee's trash right now.
Yeah.
You're not going to get me on the Tennessee side. And how about Houston? A week ago, Case Keenum actually looked pretty good in the win.
Yeah, one drive.
Nashville.
He hit the pick six,
He played okay.
Oh, was he so bad yesterday?
He was terrible yesterday. But with Stroud back, I think you got to play the Texans there.
Eagles 12 at home to Arizona. 47.5.
Let's see what the Eagles do today.
Right.
See if they can handle that number against the Giants.
I bet this, too. If I lose, so be it. Colts are 3 at home to the Raiders. Must win doesn't mean must bet, but season on the line for the Colts.
Yeah, I think that's a spot where it's going to be Colts or pass because the Raiders are playing back-to-back road games.
Yep.
And you got a rookie quarterback on the road. I thought that would be Colts or pass for me at 3.
Yep. Bad job by the NFL. 10 early, 3 late. And they kept Minnesota Green Bay on Sunday night, and we don't have a Monday night game. So that's a bad job by the league here. You ever recall 10 early games? That's ridiculous, let alone in Week 17.
I don't like it. That's way
bad job.
Yeah.
We'll get to the 4 late games, the 3 late and the Sunday night game coming up next, and we'll give you the updated playoff odds, Coach of the Year, and Comeback Player of the Year numbers at DraftKings coming up. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Pauly Howard, Matt Youmans, all that straight ahead. VSiN and Follow the Money, the Sports Betting Network.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Looking to bet smarter? Then VSiN has the perfect holiday gift for you. Sign up our holiday special today. Get VSiN Pro access, everything we do through May 1st for only $79. Sign up today. Unlimited access to daily best bets, the betting splits, the premium analysis, the 24/7 video, all the betting guides. Limited time holiday offer. VSiN.com/subscribe. The holiday special now. VSiN.com/subscribe. Couple more games left, Week 17. To the late games. How about Mason Rudolph and Pickens? Where did that come from? Steelers saved their season. Seattle at home laying 3.5 against the Steelers.
I liked the Steelers a lot on Saturday. I thought the Mason Rudolph switch was going to prove to be a good move, and it did. And George Pickens, a lot of people wanted him benched. Mike Tomlin motivated him properly, and the Steelers came out. That was a typical Mike Tomlin game.
Yep.
Back to the wall, lost 3 in a row.
Yep.
People want him fired. They're going to chase him out of town. And what do the Steelers do? They jump all over the Bengals and play well. Now they're live to finish with a winning record again, 8-7. Boy, they got a tough way to finish the season.
No
though.
kidding.
This game at Seattle on New Year's Eve, and then you finish at Baltimore.
Geno struggled.
That
should have been an easy win for Seattle. They couldn't move the ball. Kansas City, 7.5 against Cincinnati. What happened? Cincinnati's defense, horrible. And just wide open, what Pickens was doing. And Pittsburgh wide receivers. KC, 7.5 and 45. Last call for the Bengals.
Teaser game.
Yeah.
Tease the Chiefs down. I think that's a pretty easy call for a lot of bettors.
And we'll see how the Broncos respond. 5.5 at home to the Chargers. 38.5.
I'm just not a Broncos guy. I have not been. Even when they had, I talked about when they had the 5-game winning streak. I thought they were lucky. The Vikings should have beat the Broncos on that Sunday night game.
Yep.
The Packers should have beat the Broncos in Denver.
Yep.
Some of those games that the Broncos were winning, they were doing it with smoke and mirrors, and the defense did step up. I think during that 5-game win streak, the Broncos had 20. The defense had 20 sacks and 18 takeaways. It has not been Sean Payton's offense. It was the defense that really stepped up and played well during the win streak, but they were winning ugly games. That's why you can't be surprised with what happened last night with the Patriots knocking off the Broncos. You should not be surprised.
New Year's Eve, Sunday night, Vikings 2 against the Packers. Loser leaves town game.
Doesn't this price look cheap on the Vikings?
Well, it's Nick Mullins. I'm here for anything's possible. 400 yards, four interceptions. The amount of games that they have blown. Week 1, they blew the Tampa game. They blew the Charger game at home on the 4th down play. Then they got hot, won 5 in a row. But then you lose Cousins and Jefferson. They blew the game in Denver, as you mentioned. The Monday night game. Didn't Dobbs have 4 interceptions? They lost 12-10?
12-10 to the Bears.
Yeah, another one. Then they were up 14 points Saturday in the 4th quarter at Cincinnati and lost that game.
That was sick.
And then here it is. Nick Mullins is going to save the day. Still with 3 interceptions. They're going to win the game wide open, and the ball comes out like a duck. And it's intercepted. And the Vikings, they turn the ball over 4 times. They still should have won the game, and they lose to Detroit. But it's still right there for them. They win this game, and then they go to Detroit, who probably won't play anybody, and they can still get in this because they have a very good conference record. So
think about this. You and I were talking about this during the break. The Vikings got a really good shot here to finish 9-8.
Yeah.
And they have literally blown 4 games.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. This might be the 3rd best team in the NFC if they had a healthy Cousins and Jefferson with the way the defense is playing. Okay, that's week 17.
That said, too, week 14, they probably should have lost in Vegas to the Raiders.
Well,
in that 3-0 game when Hunter Renfrow fumbled in the red zone. That changed that whole ugliest game of the year, Vikings-Raiders in week 14. But
all right.
The point is Vikings could easily be a double-digit win team, right?
To win the AFC at DraftKings, the Dolphins are minus 350. The Bills are plus 265. They might play for the division in week 18. If the division's on the line, I'll take the Bills in that game. To win the AFC North, Saturday, the Ravens were minus 2,000. Now it's 750. The Browns win again. The Browns could actually still steal this division. They're 5-1. NFC South, the Buccaneers are minus $6. The Saints are 6-1. Atlanta's 12-1. In the NFC East, the Eagles are minus 425. Dallas is plus 320. $4 is way too short. I get the Giants twice in Arizona, and I have the tiebreaker. I'm missing something there.
Actually, Scott Pritchard, who is in the Circa Friday Football Invitational, and he's in the top 3. He was in here Friday night with me in studio, and he had about $30,000 cash in his pocket. And he went down here, and he fired on the Eagles to win the division. I think at the best price he said he could find anywhere, at minus 240 here at Circa.
Really?
Yeah.
Good bet.
About that price, like you said, that price is way too low.
Yep. And then you got the Dallas loss. To make the playoffs, Seattle is minus 380. They get Pittsburgh at home and they go to Arizona. The Rams are minus $2. At the Giants, at San Francisco. The Saints are 5-1. Pittsburgh is plus 340. The Bills are minus 1,600 now to make the playoffs. A couple weeks ago, the no was minus 150.
That's what a 3-game win streak will do for you.
Right now,
Chiefs,
everyone
Cowboys,
else losing.
Chargers. Yeah.
Vikings, yes, plus 330. Colts are $1.05. Green Bay plus 230.
Kind of like the Colts to make the playoffs right now.
Yeah. Yeah, they should beat the Raiders, and then you take on the Texans, and you already beat them. Tampa minus 750. Atlanta plus 650. Costly loss for the Broncos. They're 16-1. Bengals still plus 425. To the awards. Coach of the Year. Dan Campbell plus 165. Stefanski plus 230. Shanahan 4-1. Steichen plus 650. I don't know. If the Browns win out, I got to give it to Stefanski.
Do you really?
I do. No Chubb, no Watson.
Well,
Flacco off. Not only to get a guy off the couch, he's throwing for 300 yards every week.
Well, that's a credit to Joe Flacco, not Stefanski necessarily. Here, here's my problem with Stefanski.
Okay.
He played a role in the Browns signing Deshaun Watson to the worst contract in NFL history. He played a role in that. I'm not going to give him too much credit for what's going on here. That's a disastrous contract for that organization, and Stefanski wanted Deshaun Watson.
Well, still, but he got hurt, though, and in the game he got hurt, he was 14 of 14 in the second half.
They're better without him.
Well,
they're better with Joe Flacco off the street.
I got that. That is true. Ryan's is plus 750. Comeback player of the year. DeMar Hamlin is $4. Joe Flacco is 4-1.
Flacco's my winner right now.
Baker's 8-1.
DeMar Hamlin has played in 5 games and made 3 tackles. Okay, we all know what happened to him last year in Cincinnati, and he almost died on the field. It's a great inspirational story that he's made this comeback. But how is he a odds-on favorite, minus 425, when he's played in 5 games and made 3 tackles? I can't get there with that. I think Flacco should win this. The guy's walking off the street, leading the Browns into the playoffs.
Yep. And
you're trying to give Kevin Stefanski the credit.
Yeah. Come on, he's got to get some of the credit. Come on.
A little bit.
Where was it? The other thing, where was Njoku when Watson was the quarterback?
Well,
I mean, and what Cooper did.
Flacco threw for 368 yesterday.
Goes for 300 every week.
Yeah.
Can't believe it. There you go with the updated numbers. It's wild. I mean, this is going to be a great finish to the season. And again, as I threw it to Matt a couple hours ago, the possibilities of like Cleveland, Miami, Cleveland, Baltimore, Bills, Chiefs, Rams, Lions, Seattle, Philly, Dallas, Tampa in the wild card games. AFC's wide open. And certainly I would give Seattle a good chance to upset the Eagles, and I would give Tampa a shot at home against the Cowboys with the way they are playing on the road. Dallas is a different team on the road in a rematch, same matchup back-to-back years in that 4-5 game. But there's so much going on here in the NFL with the awards and also updated playoff mix and wide open in the AFC. The exact opposite of the NFC, which everyone thinks is a San Francisco Invitational.
I'm going to be really interested to see how the Eagles play today. They're up to 14-point favorites here at Circa against the Giants. This is an Eagles team that was outgained in 5 straight games. Jalen Hurts has had a turnover problem. The run defense has been bulldozed. Would it surprise you? It would not surprise me if the Eagles are one and done in the playoffs.
No.
No.
If the weather's fine, I could see if I get the Geno that showed up on the Thursday night in Dallas, they can win that game. Absolutely. And I'll tell you this. I'm taking the points. Forget the points, rather. The Rams are going to beat the Lions if that's the matchup.
I like the Rams in that game.
You can't stop Nick Mullins. What are you going to do to Stafford and Williams and Puka and Kupp? It's just shocking how bad the Detroit defense has been the last couple months. As we've talked about all morning, it's a great day of sports. 3 NFL games. Up next, 5 NBA games. And don't look now, this team is hot, and they're gelling. We'll get to that coming up and run down all the props and all the 5 NBA games coming up straight ahead. VSiN, follow the money. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, the Sports Betting Network.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
All we want for the holidays is some NBA action. New customers get $150 instantly in bonus bets just for betting $5. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use code FOLLOW. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook, code FOLLOW. The crown is yours. Unbelievable creativity and imagination with the traders today at DraftKings and Johnny Avello. The stuff that they offer for any game to go to overtime. Yes, plus 180. Any team to win by 30-plus points, plus 330. Any underdog to win by 20-plus points, plus 250. A buzzer beater is 20-1. Sharing is caring. Every starter to have an assist in all 5 games, 60-1. Will Freak, Luka, Brunson, Tatum, and LeBron combine for 200 points, 60-1. Great job up there at DraftKings for the games. We start with the Bucks and the Knicks from the Garden. They just played Saturday. How bizarre. And the Bucks ran them out. This was like, I look up, it's like 22-20, 5 minutes into the game. But Milwaukee's hot. They've won 7 in a row, Matt, 12 of 14, and 17 of 20. They're now 22-7. Freak said, give it time, we're going to gel. And they've been great offensively. They are number 4 in pace. The Knicks are 27th in pace. You see a 241.5 the total. Milwaukee's going to dictate pace. They are number 3 in offensive efficiency. I just don't know what the Knicks can do. They're going to make the playoffs. They're probably going to be a top 6 seed, but they're just not on the level of a Philly, a Milwaukee, or a Boston. They're going to have to make a big trade. And I don't know. It's just they're a good team, but they're not going to go anywhere playoff time.
That's the same story with the Knicks.
Yeah.
And they just can't get to the next level. They're good enough to make the playoffs. Not good enough to do a whole lot when they get there. Need a little bit more scoring firepower. You know, I think you got a couple guys you can go to when you need a bucket and you need several buckets. Somebody who can carry the team offensively, but just not enough firepower. You look at the Bucks; they've got plenty of firepower. I don't know if the Bucks have enough defense. When you get to the playoffs and you got to get stops and you got to win games with your defense, that's the Bucks' weakness. Is their guards are not that great defensively. But right now, those sort of issues don't crop up much in the regular season. When you get to the playoffs, you're going to see that a little bit more when you need defensive stops. Right now, the Bucks, like you said, have won 7 in a row, and they look unstoppable. I thought, early in the season, too many people panicked when the Bucks were not covering. They failed to cover 10 games in a row, and there was a lot of talk about how this was going to fail with Lillard. You have to give in basketball. You have to give the team time to develop chemistry and to come together, and I think that's what you're seeing now with the Bucks. As far as today's game, we're going to talk with Doug Kazarian in the final hour, get his opinion on this. I don't know if I would lay this forward with the Bucks on the road today.
It was easy Saturday.
I know. May not be easy today, though.
All right. The great card today. Great card. Denver is 7 at home to the Warriors. 234.5 the total. The Warriors are the 10 seed. They're a game over 500. And the only reason they're over 500 now is because they have an easy schedule the last couple of days. So they didn't do the champs any favors.
They did beat the Celtics.
Yeah.
They won 5 in a row. Believe it or not, they've got the longest winning streak of any team in the West right now, and the second longest win streak in the association. The Warriors at 5
right?
have
Wow.
5 games.
That's staggering.
Bucks have the longest at 7,
Yep.
and the Warriors second at 5.
Well,
and that was after a lot of people just throwing dirt on the Warriors. Charles Barkley and the TNT crew. Yeah, I understand. They look old. They look slower. It looks like their time is up. Mm-hmm. Draymond Green's been a constant headache.
No size, Matt, and they're sloppy with the ball.
But they're winning these games without Draymond, too. I think that's a big positive.
Let me look at what they are right now. To make the playoffs, they're only $1.30. How about that? So I could only look at the champs here at home. And big performance from the Nuggets. The third game.
How about Jokic? Nikola Jokic, he can roll out of bed and put up a triple-double.
I know.
It's remarkable what this guy does. I still don't think he's getting enough credit. It's the best basketball player in the world right now.
Yep. The Lakers. AD called it a must-win. They delivered. LeBron had a big performance on the road against the Thunder. They said commitment to defense. They benched Russell, and they got the win against the Thunder. The Celtics, 22-6, lane 3 in Los Angeles. What a matchup here. And the Lakers, $1.80, only $1.80 to make the playoffs. They are 16-14 as they have stumbled since winning the in-season tournament out here. But it was a big win Saturday that they had to have.
Yeah, oh yeah. I would have benched Russell a long time ago.
Yeah.
I think it took too long to make that move. Best records in the NBA, Boston and who? Who's tied with Boston for the best record in the association?
Minnesota Timberwolves.
Minnesota Timberwolves.
Who are the favorites
How
to get the
about that?
How about that?
Yeah.
I got 66-1.
Do you?
And 5-1 to win the division. They are the favorites to have the 1 seed in the West, which again it speaks to how great the menu is and everything offered at DraftKings, and people are buying in. Tough one here, but what a performance by the Celtics Saturday. They buried no Kawhi.
Yeah.
Kawhi didn't play, but that was over early, and they did whatever they wanted offensively, the last 2 games actually, to blow out Sacramento and then take out the Clippers, no problem. So great matchup here. And then the Heat are 3 and 225 at home to Philly. This is a joke with Embiid. He's not no Embiid. Now Howard Eskin is reporting Embiid didn't want to go and wanted no part of Miami here on Christmas. And he asked to take the private plane back so he could come home, and now he's claiming some injury when he said he got hurt, but he played. He didn't come out of the game, and I don't know. It's always something with this guy. In any event.
Well, his numbers recently have been remarkable.
No doubt. A great talent.
His production on the floor has been phenomenal. But, yeah, when you become a diva like this and start to try to dictate too many terms of whether you're going to play and how you're going to travel, this kind of smells like the James Harden situation in Houston.
Well, he doesn't play in Denver either. That's another thing.
Well, I'm not going to play tonight. Don't feel like playing tonight.
Right. I know.
That's one thing that turns people off about the NBA right now.
They're hot. They've won 8 of 10 as well.
I think I would kind of, you say hot, I'd probably go with the Heat.
Would you?
I think I would go with the Heat in this game.
Okay. Looking at the numbers, Philly's number 2 in offensive efficiency. They're number 3 in defensive efficiency. And Miami is 26th in pace. Miami 17 and 12 on the season. And the last game, this is a debacle. The Suns are laying 4.5 against Dallas. 237.5 the total. The Suns are 500. They've lost 7 of 10. So you made these moves to get Beal, but you have no depth, and now Beal's always hurt, and they can't stay. They lose to Sacramento. They lost to Portland. They are a 500 team. This is nuts what's going on in Phoenix.
It's a marathon, not a sprint in the NBA. And the thing is, Bradley Beal didn't play for, the first month and a half?
Well, they have no depth, I know, yeah. Big problem.
Don't have much of a bench.
I mean, the big 3 have been on the floor for 24 minutes. That's it. 27 minutes.
I'm not buying the Suns in the long run. I'm not talking about handicapping today's game specifically, but I have not been a Suns guy. I didn't think this was going to work. And then on the flip side, I didn't think that Luka and Kyrie was going to work in Dallas either.
Yeah.
At what point is Luka Doncic going to win MVP?
I know that's a tough call this year. I think Suns are still minus 280 to make the playoffs, though.
Right.
But
they'll make the playoffs.
Yeah, but 500 on the season. Again, updated numbers at DraftKings.
So you got Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and Bradley Beal. Your goal should not be to make the playoffs.
No, I know. But I'm with you, though, too. I mean, they were going to lose that series last year if Kawhi Leonard didn't get hurt.
Sure.
And then Denver took them apart in the Game 6 and blew them out.
Yep.
So that you're talking about an organization here that has been demoralized and just embarrassed in their final playoff game as well. Also tomorrow, I have to mention this. The Pistons are playing the Nets again. They're going for the record. If the Pistons lose tomorrow, they set the single-season record for longest losing streak. At DraftKings, they're minus $5 to have the worst record. And their next win prop is up. It's plus 195 to beat the Nets. They're at home. All these teams are listed. When will the Pistons get their next win? And then if they lose this, then the all-time record is 28 in a row by the Sixers. So that's in play as well, as they lost by 12 on Saturday.
We're going to talk with Doug Kazarian in the final hour. He told me he made a pretty good-sized bet on the Pistons adjusted win total under 9.5.
Really?
For the season.
At what point? It was 5-1 set. Did he get 12 or 10?
A week and a half ago.
He did.
Something like that.
Wow.
Paul, how about this DraftKings prop today? I know you like things like this. Any game to go to overtime of the 5 in the association, would you take the plus 180?
No, I take the no.
Okay.
Also, I would take the no on to win by 30-plus points as well. I like the sharing is caring, though. That doesn't seem that difficult, right? Every starter to have an assist in all 5 games?
It's not going to happen.
Okay. Okay. You shot that down. We'll go out live to Kansas City up next. We start the day with the Chiefs and the Raiders. We'll talk to Sorin Petro, who works in Kansas City, about the struggles on offense. All that coming up next.